In closing, let me say, someone wrote the definition of a father as the following. A father is a man who expects his son to be as good a man as he meant to be. It is with great pride that I introduce to you the son who makes that exception and more, my son in whom I'm well pleased. Your next councilman for Ward 8, Aaron J. Holmes.
Good morning. I am Aaron Holmes. I am running to be your Ward 8 City Councilman. I am not in this to lose. And I'm going to say that again because I know that there are a few folks who are not very well acquainted with me, and I want to make sure that I put the appropriate amount of emphasis on this right out in front. I am Aaron Holmes. I am running to be your Ward 8 City Councilman. I am not in this to lose. I stand here today on the birthday of Martin Luther King, in the shadow of Frederick Douglass, and in the light of Marion Barry, fully prepared for a fight. Not against incumbents or challengers, but in the tradition of these great men, I entered this race fully prepared for a fight. For you, for your family, for my family, the family that is Ward 8, the 70,000 strong that make Ward 8 where we live and where we love. This is my first race, and I actually couldn't imagine anyone bringing me to the podium other than the man most responsible for me being here, right? And I'm going to deviate from the script for just a second to say that I gave a speech in the 6th grade where I thanked my mother actually, and did not thank my father. And it's taken me 20 years to right that wrong, but I can think of no better place to do so. I love you and I appreciate you to no end. I also want to make sure that I thank my mother who stands by my side today, as she has always in life, for her guidance and love. The pathway to this podium was paved by many, and all of you, in different ways, are responsible for me being here today. I want to thank you all for your prayers, your encouragement, and your unwavering support. My story is not unique. My parents built a home, raised 5 very different children, both together and apart. They taught us to think, work hard, and respect each other. I went to public schools. I have worked in the private and public sector. I have seen my actions with and on behalf of others produce concrete results, and I could not ignore this opportunity to serve. I stand before you today, innocent of inheritance, but rich in virtue. The lessons my parents taught us, both in sermon and sweat, have given me the depth to appreciate the office I seek, to appreciate the value in each and every citizen I strive to serve. It is truly a privilege to run in Ward 8, to earn the honor of being your representative, to preserve, promote, and protect this community's countless heroes, capeless heroes who go by mom and dad, who desire to send their children off to school in the morning knowing they're receiving the best education this city has to offer. Heroes whose dreams are exceptional yet not uncommon, simple yet valuable, to live in a safe, inclusive, interconnected community built and sustained by the people who live there. Heroes like Janae West, a 28-year-old mother who would run through a wall for her daughter. And though Reagan is small, I have no doubt that 6-year-old would bring down that very same wall for her mother. And it's that exchange that makes us special. I know this because I see and listen to heroes every day. Heroes like Terry Whiting. When I met Miss Whiting, she told me she needed government officials who could talk to her son. I asked, is he home? Can I speak with him? When Miss Whiting's son Terrence came downstairs, I introduced myself and asked him one simple question. Do you pay attention to politics? He paused for a second and then told me no. Told me that he would pay more attention when he got older. Weeks passed, and as the city's crime rate began to consume the front page, I found myself thinking more and more about Terrence, contemplating the request of his mother, wondering why leadership that once insisted on engaging its youngest citizens was now locking them out. Real listening means not forgetting what you hear. I ran into Terrence at the Anacostia Metro. He walked up to me and said he remembered our conversation. We chatted about graduation, work, and family. I was with the former mayor, and I offered to introduce Terrence, but he had zero interest in meeting him. Zero. And that needs to change. Children, teens, millennials, Gen Xers, baby boomers, and super citizens need to see our government paying attention to their dreams, reaching out to Terrence, engaging him, and listening to Ms. Whiting empowers a public official to understand and act on what these good citizens need. Every voice matters. In the generation of yes, we can, we must trust in the momentum of democracy. Newspapers and textbooks will highlight the celebrated few, but it is populations that create change. We must come together around the ideas that move our ward and this great city forward, and exercise our democratic right against those which hold us back. Challenging leadership that runs on making public transportation free for kids and then turns its back on those very same children when pushing for harsher penalties for crimes committed on Metro. Leadership that points a finger at other officials instead of fighting for the type of neighborhood schools that would negate the need for Metro in the first place. We can do better. We can do much better than laws that fortify thinly veiled stereotypes, allowing the actions of so few to blacken the eyes of so many. Together, we must explode stereotypes that prevent this great city from meeting its greatest challenges with its full complement of talent. We must eradicate stereotypes that unfairly paint a picture of a recent graduate who puts a Ward 8 address on a resume or a college student standing at an ATM. An address in Ward 8 is a badge of honor. We need to make that clear to all. We are products of families dedicated to top-tier education and professional achievement. We need an effective advocate. I am that advocate. The job of constructing even-handed legislation is in our collective interest and therefore not beyond our collective reach. We must put to rest old habits of the mind and mouth and work together to ensure this city embraces all of its citizens in pen and practice. The laws we pass in the name of safety today cannot profile Ms. Whiting's only son tomorrow. We should be electing representatives who are closest to the people, not those who are closest to the cash drawer. We can easily do better than politics that puts self-interest in front of your best interest. We can do better than schools that only help a few students. The stakes are simply too high. We must harvest the best solutions from all sources to ensure that all of our students are armed with the tools to compete in today's economy. We invest a ton of our resources in educational success, and we need to hold folks accountable for that investment. We cannot simply surround ourselves with the vocabulary of middle class without taking the steps to make it tangible for those who are truly on the pathway. We can do better. We can do better with our police and community relations. In fact, we must demand better from police and citizens alike, as there is no solution to be found in eternal contempt. Repairing these rifts will take time, tough conversations, and most importantly, a belief in one another. The answer lies in trust. Trust that is earned. I am ready to earn your trust. We all have a stake in this fight. To Officer Dallas, who talked with me outside Ballou, about his days walking the beat, earning, not demanding, the respects of the folks in Sursum Quarter, your voice has value. To Terrence and all of his peers, anyone who shares his mother's fears, whether you're of voting age or merely old enough to run through a wall for the people you love, I see you. I am ready to listen. Your voice has value. I will listen, evaluate, and act because I believe that government should work for the undivided sum of its citizens. That any solution worth talking about must respect and represent each and every person in this community. I will seek to engage all obstacles. I will ensure the benefit of this ward remains at the forefront of all my decisions. Not developers, not colors, but the mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, teachers, and students of Ward 8. This is a tough job, and I make no bones about it, but the people of this ward are tough, and that demands tough leadership in the Wilson building and in the street. I am that leader. I will lead with your commentary and your commitment. Today, through the long months of campaigning, on Election Day, and every day I serve as a Ward 8 City Councilman. I am Aaron Holmes. I am running to be your Ward 8 City Councilman, and I am not in this to lose. Let's go to work. Thank you.